Hi, my name is Jaiprashant Mohanram and you are watching Car Talk. So today I'm at Mamallapuram with my colleague Ajish for this one. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Hyundai Creta Electric. In 2015, Hyundai brought in the Creta and really redefined the compact SUV segment. Now after 10 years, they brought in the Creta EV, which is their first mass market electric vehicle. So now let's jump in, drive the SUV and tell you what it's all about. Now let's dive right into the design of the Creta EV, the Creta Electric. So it looks typically like a petrol or a diesel Creta until you see this, because there's no radiator up front. This is a pixelated front end. It's a typical Hyundai design on all their EVs, this pixelation in front. Rest of the car looks very similar to their ICE variants, which is basically you have this massive front, LEDs, DRLs, connected DRLs. Then you have a headlamp here. The front, the bumper is new. There is a charging flap. This is basically your charging flap. This is where your charger goes in. So that's basically the Creta's front end. And before I forget, this is a brand new color. It's called the Ocean Blue, Ocean Metallic Blue. It's a really striking color. That is the ocean there, and here you have this beautiful color of the Creta. Now moving on to the sides of the car, you've got these new alloy wheels. Again, they're aerodynamically designed, running on low resistance tires. Moving on to the profile of the car, you've got a massive battery pack under the car. You can see that there. That's the battery pack. Okay, because this of course is an electric car. Apart from this, the profile is more or less similar to the petrol and diesel Creta. Now moving to the rear of the car, again you've got pixelation, a new bumper, because this is again an electric and this is a typical Hyundai design language. There is electric badging on the tailgate, and finally you've got a similar to the ICE, you've got connected tail lamps. So this basically is the Hyundai Creta Electric's design for you. Now before we start driving the Creta, let me show you something. This is the engine bay of the Creta. Heavy bonnet, no hydraulics here. So yeah, and anybody looking at this would think that this is a petrol or a diesel engine bay, because it's like, it's fully packed, but no, it's not. It's electric. There's a motor under this thing, but this is a frunk. So this is a frunk. There's an electric motor under this thing, and apart from that, this is typically an EV, not a born electric EV, but EV that is based on a ICE platform. So you've got the battery here, then you've got a fuse box here, easy to access. Other side, you've got coolant that basically circulates around the engine and keeps it cool. Then you've got brake fluid here. You've got wiper fluid. So this basically is the engine bay, a very organized engine bay, but it almost looks like a petrol or a diesel engine bay, because this is not a born electric car, and you can make it out from here. Then finally, this is where your charger gun goes in. So this is the charging port, and now it's glowing blue, which means everything is okay. When you connect the charger, if it shows red, it's basically color coded, then it means that there is now some issue with the charging. Now we've got 4 green bars, so this light up. This also means that there is full charge. So I'm sitting inside the Hyundai Creta Electric. So once I'm inside the seat, everything is quite familiar. This looks like the petrol or diesel Creta, but there are a few key differences. First thing, the center console. The Creta Electric uses shift-by-wire, so your shifter has gone here. So it's like a typical Mercedes-Benz shifter behind the steering wheel, where you can select drive, neutral, reverse and park, etc. It's here. And then, because that has basically liberated a lot of space, you have this nice, beautiful floating type center console. You've got a couple of cup holders here. You also have the drive modes. There are 3 drive modes. One is Eco, Normal and Sport. Very tactile. It feels really good. Very tactile buttons. Then there is this electric parking brake. You've got auto hold. You also have a 360 camera that can be activated from here. And both the seats, the driver and co-passenger, they're powered 8-way powered seats, and you also have ventilation for both the seats. Ventilation can be controlled here. Then you also have some more storage here. So this is basically a cooled glow box. So now let's talk about the Hyundai Creta Electric's dashboard. This is very similar to the petrol and diesel models. You've got a bunch of colors. You've got ice grey here, you've got satin, you've got brushed aluminum, you've got bluish grey tinge here, and you've got some black. All these colors, come together quite tastefully to make the Creta Electric feel as premium as their ICE models. So that's a good thing. And since you've got a center console which is floating, a lot of space is being liberated. You've got space here. This is basically where your mobile phone goes for your wireless charging. You also have a Type-C port, regular USB, and of course you have the cigarette lighter port. And there's some more space here, and there's some rubberized finish so that you keep your gadgets here. They're not going to slide around too much. And one more thing about the seats, they've used recycled material towards their because of their sustainability goals. And this is basically a seat that's made of recycled plastic. So how cool is that? That's something. And ventilated seats, of course, both for the driver and front passenger. And now I also want to show you something cool. It's basically the dual zone air conditioning on the Creta Electric. So basically, look at this. This is for the driver. This is for the passenger. You can have different temperatures, different blower speeds. There's also a driver only mode where the co-passenger is not going to have air conditioning, only the driver is going to have air conditioning. So that is basically a cool feature. So this, as you can see, is the center console. It's orientated towards the driver. There are physical buttons as well. It's not completely a touch panel. So that's a nice thing. For volume, etc., you have physical buttons. You also have physical buttons for temperature control. So this is basically about the cabin of the Creta. And before I forget, the steering wheel is new on the Creta Electric, and apparently this is etched in Morse code. So you don't have a Hyundai H here, but this is in Morse code. This is a nice cool thing. And also the steering is not completely round. It's not even flat bottomed. It's got this different shape. And here you have all the ADAS functions, and this is basically your voice commands, your call, and all those buttons. So basically lots of features. And there are paddles here. These paddles are going to be used for your region modes. You can also change, there are 4 region modes, level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 4 is basically a one pedal driving mode that's there in the paddles. Overall, everything is very similar to the Creta ICE variants, but there are some differences as well. And this is basically the curvilinear display. So this is shows your MID, the driver information, and this is basically for your navigation and everything else. So overall, this is the cabin of the Creta for you. I'm sitting in the rear seat of the Creta Electric. So Hyundai has gone to great lengths to basically make the cabin more spacious. First thing, you've got this scooped out stuff. The seat is scooped so that you get more leg room. I'm just 5'7", so no problem at all. Plenty of headroom for me because it's a typical Creta, but there's something. The under thigh support here is lacking. The reason is there's the battery, and Hyundai wanted to retain the 200 plus ground clearance for the Creta Electric. So the battery moved up, and because of that, the floor is moved up, and so you do have a little bit of under thigh support that's lacking. Apart from that, it's a well-appointed cabin. You've got plenty of space. 3 people can sit here. Absolutely no issues. You've got, headrests. 2 headrests. There are no 3 headrests. And there is also a nice armrest here. So this is basically the cabin. And so one more thing I wanted to show you. So this is basically your device counter. You can basically keep your phone here. And there is this fold out. So you can keep your phone here, and you can watch. So it's almost like an entertainment console for you, and you can keep possibly a drink here. You can even, if you want to eat something, this is almost like a lunch tray. So this is something nice. It was first seen in the Alcazar. Now it's there in the Creta also, and there is this boss mode for this seat. Okay, I'll just show you. So you can move this seat front and back. The driver can do it, or the passenger can do it, liberate more space. This is basically called the boss mode. Again, we saw this in the Alcazar, now it's in the Creta. Bose speakers here as well, 8 speaker setup, so Bose branding there. So overall, this is a seat, and massive panoramic sunroof makes it even more airier. So this is a big panoramic sunroof. Half of it opens, half of it is closed. It's just a glass roof. And you also get charging for the rear. You've got 2 USB ports. You can keep your devices here, and of course you have these rear AC. These are standard stuff. Is there on the Creta ICE as well. So that's the rear seat of the Hyundai Creta Electric for you. This is basically the boot of the Creta Electric. Very, very similar to the ICE. 433 liters here as well. Got a couple of big bags, and this is how it looks. You've got a spare wheel under this, and you've got a parcel tray. This is the boot, but it's same, 433 liters of capacity. It's got split seats, so you can fold it and you can increase capacity. This basically has slightly more luggage carrying capacity than the petrol and diesels, because you also have a frunk which gives you another 22 liters up front, so it makes it 455 liters, the boot and the frunk combined. Yeah, so I'm driving the Hyundai Creta Electric. First things first, what really strikes you is the lack of sound or lack of vibration, because this is obviously an electric car. Acceleration, there are three modes. You've got a normal, you've got eco, and you've got sport. In sport mode, the acceleration is quite intense, but it's very linear, but it's quite intense. It's quite quick. Before you know it, you're hitting triple digit speeds. In fact, there was an open stretch. Before I know, the car was doing over 150, and it was crazy, and it masks speed very well. Insulation is fantastic in this car. You really don't get a sense of the speeds. You can be doing, say, about 100 kilometers per hour, but it'll feel almost like 60 or 70. So that is the level of masking this does. It's almost like a luxury car in that terms, because those speeds you don't really feel it. And now let's talk about the suspension. A very, very plus suspension. This is a very comfortable suspension. If you're going to do long distances in this car, you're really going to enjoy it because of the suspension. Very nice and plush. But since it's an electric car, the battery is in the floor. Handling has not been compromised. It's got a reasonably sharp turn-in. Even on high speeds, the stability is good. But there is a little bit of body roll. It's a tall car, make no mistake. But if you're going to compare it to a ICE car in terms of handling, this almost handles like a Ford. It's an EV, obviously, you can't compare, but still, compared to both the petrol and the diesel Cretas, this is a far better handler. And you also have the three modes, as I said, eco, normal, and sport. In sport modes, the steering, it's just not the throttle calibration that changes. It feels more urgent, the throttle in sport mode, but the steering also stiffens up. So there is a fair bit of stiffening. So it's almost like the N-line Hyundais, where all of these things come together to make the whole experience. It becomes a much more sporty car. Acceleration fantastic, handling very good. Ride quality is really good. So all these things come together, so you can have this Jekyll and Hyde behavior in the Creta Electric. If you want to go slow, you can go into eco mode and just relax. You can even have the one pedal driving. Now let me talk about the region. Since we're talking about one pedal driving, there are four region modes: region level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. Level 4 is basically one pedal driving. That is when region is extremely strong. It's almost like the car brakes by itself. So with the single pedal, you can drive the car. People who drive it in traffic relaxedly will really like the one pedal drive. On the highway, of course, you've got to be in level 1. You don't want that kind of region. You want to keep the region at the lowest. So that's basically about the overall drive. Creta, very nice commanding driving position, because of the height adjust. You look at you can see the edges of the bonnet, and it's a nice squared out bonnet in front. So you have the proper SUV commanding driving position as well. There is a little bit of body roll, as I said. Everything else in the car, everything falls into hand very easily. Ergonomics, absolutely no issues. Everything is on point. All in all, the Creta Electric is a big upgrade for the Creta range as well, in terms of the way it drives. It is possibly the best driving Creta. Acceleration, as Hyundai claims, is 7.9, 0 to 100. Very believable, and it feels really rapid. And so it's the fastest Creta. That's one thing. For the 51.4 kilowatt hour battery, that's the long range, because it's got 171 PS of peak power, about 255 Newton meters of torque, which is exactly the same as the diesel, but it feels a lot quicker than the diesel, very smooth. So people who love driving, they are going to basically enjoy the Creta Electric more than any other Creta. So that is a big win. Now let's talk about the range of the Creta. Right now we've done about 40 or 50 kilometers, and I've just used up about 12% of range, because I've been not driving very aggressively. I'm driving fairly relaxed, but bursts of acceleration now and then. The region, I think, is recharging the battery. So this is basically about the Creta EV's drive. The Creta Electric has level 2 ADAS, which is similar to what the ICE model gets. This has 19 ADAS features, and there's a key difference. The region can also be, the ADAS also controls region automatically when you're driving in ADAS mode. It basically varies the region based on how much, at what level it should be, depending on the driving conditions. So that is quite unique in terms of how the ADAS works. Is this the best Creta that Hyundai's ever built? Well, let's make two assumptions. Let's assume that they price it somewhere near the top end petrol and the top end diesel. If they do that, And if you're somebody who doesn't need more than say 300 or 320 kilometers of real world range, this is clearly the best Creta Hyundai has ever built. The reasons are this: performance, it's faster than anything else, both the diesel and the petrol, and the roll-on acceleration very strong, instant torque. Ride and handling, rides better than every other Creta, fantastic ride quality. Handling, because the battery is low down, handling is great. Features, it's got more features than other Creta, so easily this is the best iteration of the Creta ever built. So what do you think about the Creta Electric? Do let us know in the comments. Like this video, please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.